Okay, when you're ready.
Okay. So, we look out in the world today, and there's actually a lot of bad things going on. Like Chase talked about, all these shootings, and there's a lot of hate crimes, and a lot of people fighting for their equal rights, which causes other haters to come out and hate. And it's causing a lot of fear. But, like, all that stuff, we see it, but, like, I haven't experienced any of that personally myself. Not on such a degree like that. But it does affect me in a different way, and I don't mean to make lighthearted of anything, but I think it's causing people to be overly sensitive and overly afraid. And I know parents have the right to protect their children, but what I'm going to talk about, you'll see that they are eating into things that aren't even real. Let's see if I can make sense of this. Trick-or-treating, in my estimate, in the next 10 years is going to be practically non-existent. Or at least not the way that we know it now, or not the way that we grew up. And I am, except for a couple of us, I am a few years older than everybody else. So it's definitely changed in my lifetime. And a few years, and my family, they do a haunted house in their garage every year. And a few years ago, they would get over 1,000 people. But last year, they got maybe 200 people. And since that's kind of what I want to go into, I'm doing research, and I asked a lot of people around my parents' house of why don't they let their kids go trick-or-treating anymore and all that. And there are a few things that they came up with, some things that we've all probably heard. And they're actually a bunch of myths. So I'm going to debunk them right now so you all know that it's not actually things that we really need to worry about all that much. Most of them is an incident happened on Halloween, so suddenly that means it happens all the time on Halloween everywhere, and that's just not true. So the first thing is, parents are always cautioned to look out for poison candy, which actually it isn't true. According to a report done by Joel Best, who is a sociology and criminal justice professor at the University of Delaware, and somehow has become the world-leading poisoned Halloween candy authority. I don't know how you get that title, but that's what he is. A quote from him, he says, "I have yet to find a report of an incident where a child was killed or seriously injured by a contaminated treat picked up in the course of trick-or-treating." There was an instance in the 80s where one guy did it, but he was actually just targeting one kid. But because one kid got poisoned, that means that everybody's out to do it, because everybody hates little children and wants to take advantage of them. And right? Doesn't that? I see your faces like it sounds kind of ridiculous, doesn't it? The second thing is, Put up your hand if you've ever seen, probably on Facebook, that picture of assorted candies with the caption of, "This isn't candy, it's ecstasy, so look for it in your kids' candy bags," right? That was posted, actually, mistakenly, it was posted by the Jackson Police Department, but they've since pulled it down because it's not actually true. Somebody at the department was talking about it, but there was never any actual proof of that. And let's face it, ecstasy, it's not cheap, is it? It's expensive. So who's going around throwing free handfuls of drugs off to these kids and not making any money? See, you're laughing about it, right? When you think about it that way, it doesn't make any sense. That doesn't actually happen. And the third one is child kidnapping. First of all, only 24% of kidnappings are committed by strangers. 49% is family kidnappings. 27% is acquaintance kidnappings, leaving only 24% for a stranger to kidnap a child. But then you look at less than 10% of little children go trick-or-treating by themselves, without either a parent or a whole group of kids going with them. So the chances of them actually getting kidnapped is very slim. And it's, in America, according to CNN, they said there's a potential of 41.2 million trick-or-treaters between the ages of 5 and 14. But you look at the number of kidnappings, it's minuscule. And I've looked at a lot of statistics comparing Halloween to other days of the year, and there's no difference, right? But people say because the kid was kidnapped on Halloween, now Halloween is bad. But you look at, well, the kid was kidnapped on Tuesday. Tuesdays are bad then, right? They only ever look at the bad. And there's also even just the myth that black cats are in danger on Halloween. But they're not. According to the Best Friends Animal Society, they say there is no evidence that black cats are at risk of abuse if adopted around Halloween. Even though most adoption places won't let you adopt a black cat around Halloween because they think that you're going to do satanic things to it. But it doesn't actually happen either. So that doesn't mean that there aren't dangers. So I've got a list of what some real dangers are. And number one, people our age, we are the real danger. Because people our age go out and drink and party and cause a ruckus. And we drink and drive. Most of the accidents are caused by drunk drivers who have hit a little child who's crossing the street in the dark. Or kids are having costumes that cause them to trip and they get hurt. And there's more kids in the emergency room on Halloween for drinking the liquid from a glow stick than for eating bad candy. So I guess that's just parents need to teach their kids not to drink the glow sticks. But all these things, it's caused a lot of false fear, I think. You'd think that we would all be able to just take a day and relax and just go have fun. But trick-or-treating, it begins at like 4 o'clock and it's done before the sun goes down, or parents come together and they do trunk-or-treating, right? Where you're just in a parking lot with your cars and kids just go around during the day, and it's just not any fun. Like, I would go out for hours and come home with 3 huge pillowcases full of candy. And I'd still eat it all in like a week. But that was the fun of it. And now people like me, people like my family who like to go big on all of these things, but then all for what? For nothing. Because nobody comes anymore, and I just don't think that's fair. Thank you.
All right, that's it. Thank you so much, everybody. Great speeches this morning. I'll see you later.
You spent $700 on your prize.
That was on sale.
Oh, so what was it instead?
I got both of them for $15.
I personally don't think you should spend more than that.
Teiganne, are you telling me that if I drink the liquid from a glow stick, I don't glow?
No, you
Is that
don't.
what you're telling me?
I think you burn your skin too.
Hey, Shannon, I see I'm in your group. I see I'm in your group.
For, yeah, for the regular, the thing.
See you guys did last time this was over?
Question about the debate.
No.
Yeah.
Is this still going to be our groups choose the topic, or is you hand it out?
It's always the groups choosing the topic because it's those 4 people always have to agree.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't waste my time researching a topic that my group doesn't want to.
People
Because I have an idea.
wherever the group is, it should be in there.
Group docs, like, whether on campus?
Should be in there, yeah.
See you, Seth.
See you.